Hey everyone. Welcome to AfriHeart Stories, your go-to spot for African tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe and drop a comment. Now sit back and enjoy. Abuja dawned with tempered sunlight slicing through heavy clouds, as Aisha Bello hummed a lullaby while flipping pancakes for her husband, Senator Ibrahim Bello. In the background, the television broadcast rehearsals for the National Unity Gala, where Ibrahim would address the nation on anti-corruption measures. The couple's two young children giggled at the spilled syrup as they chased toast crumbs across the kitchen floor. At precisely 8:12 a.m., the phone rang. Aisha recognized Hassan's clipped tone immediately. He was Ibrahim's elder brother and head of national security. "Aisha," he whispered urgently. Ibrahim collapsed. "They're transferring him to an induced coma. He's been poisoned." Aisha's blood ran cold. "Poisoned?" Her voice wavered. She dashed out, tossing a scarf over her shoulders, keys rattling in her hand. Outside, taxis clogged the driveway, heat waves shimmered off the asphalt. She flagged down a ride, stomach twisting as images of the gala flashed through her mind. Who would do this? And why? At LifeSpring Hospital, blinding fluorescent lights exposed a sea of uniforms. Doctors pushed an equipment trolley through double doors. A nurse intercepted Aisha. "You can't enter," she said, holding her palm out. "It's ICU. Please," Aisha pleaded, tears prickling. "He's my husband." Security guards stepped forward. One moved aside with reluctance. "This way." Inside, Ibrahim lay motionless, wires sprouting from his arms like metallic vines. A ventilator hissed in measured breaths. His face was pale, eyes closed in uncomfortable repose. Aisha took his hand, white and cold. "I'm here," she whispered. "I'll find whoever did this." Cameras in the corridor recorded the scene. Hassan's long coat caught the light as he approached. His expression was unreadable. "We suspect political motivations, Aisha," he said softly. "Keep this quiet for now." She shook her head, resolve hardening. "He's my family. I'm going public." Hassan's eyes flicked to the monitors. "Think carefully. One move could kill him." Moments later, a phone vibration jolted her. A message from an unknown number. A video clip of Ibrahim collapsing, overlaid with text, "Go public and he dies." Her heart pounded as the screen cut to black. Alone by Ibrahim's bedside, Aisha's breath trembled. Outside, the press assembled in a thrumming pack. The world was watching, and she vowed she would not break. Aisha paced the sterile corridor outside ICU, clutching her phone. Social media exploded. #FindTheAttacker trended worldwide. Clips from the gala menu circulated. Spectators analyzed every angle. Trolls leveled accusations, staged political drama. One read, "She's seeking sympathy votes." Inside, Hassan conferred with military-grade security officers. Their hushed tones drifted through the door panel. Aisha's sister Zainab appeared, cheeks streaked with sympathy. "Aisha, you need rest," she urged, placing a comforting hand on her sister's arm. "Let us handle." "I can't," Aisha replied, eyes blazing. Too many unanswered questions. That night, she slipped into the hospital laboratory. She'd memorized shift changes, guards drowsed by midnight. With trembling fingers, she accessed secured lab archives on a terminal, pulling camera feeds and toxin analysis reports onto a flash drive. Each clip deepened her horror. The CCTV showed a hand, gloved, swapping his forebag with a new one at precisely 7:58 a.m. The label changed from saline to something else, something lethal. A soft voice startled her. Dr. Obafemi, the toxicologist, stood at the entrance. "What are you doing, Aisha?" She froze, breath hitching. "I need to know who did this." He took a step forward. "Leave this to the authorities." Before he could say more, two security guards grabbed him and hustled him away. Obafemi's eyes pleaded with her before the door slammed shut. Stunned, Aisha staggered back, heart pounding. She inserted the flash drive into her phone's adapter. A new encrypted file named Operation Final Pulse blinked on screen. She tapped it. Coordinates, dates, and names scrolled past in a harsh digital font. The killer was watching her. Fear and determination waged war inside her. She slipped the drive into her pocket and fled the lab. In the elevator, she replayed the gala video on her phone. The camera panned across the kitchen staff. One face caught her eye, a faint memory flickered in her mind. When the doors opened, she was back at Ibrahim's door. He remained unconscious. A reporter's camera glinted in the corridor. Aisha placed a gentle finger to her lips and walked out, mind racing. Tomorrow she would begin the unflinching hunt. For now, despair threatened to consume her. The killer was closer than she thought, and they were watching her every move. Aisha's living room glowed with the pale light of multiple screens as she transformed from senator's wife into relentless investigator. Printouts of CCTV stills plastered the walls. Her children's drawings lay forgotten on the coffee table. Journalist Chinedu paced, phone pressed to his ear. "I have confirmation of the shipping manifest," he reported. "Foreign biotech suppliers, shell companies, this runs deeper than we thought." Lawyer Funk leaned over a laptop. "If we can tie the toxin to a military facility, we can force a hearing despite diplomatic immunity." Aisha's gaze hardened. "Then gather everything. Tonight, we hit the abandoned lab in Ogun State." Under moonlight, the trio drove to the derelict site. Rusted barrels, broken windows, and silence. Aisha's heart hammered. Inside, they found charred notebooks and vials marked with codes matching Operation Final Pulse. Chinedu snapped photos. Funk bagged evidence. Their flashlights revealed a scrawled note. "Next time, no warning." Moments later, the echo of footsteps. Aisha signaled the others. They slipped into a side corridor. A lone guard passed, phone to ear. "All clear," he muttered. When he left, Aisha exhaled. "They're shadowing every move." Back home, Hassan confronted her on live TV, his stern warning cut through the feeds. Aisha stood her ground. "Bureaucracy will kill my husband before fear quiets his enemies. I will expose the truth." Hours later, alone in the darkened hospital hallway, Aisha replayed her last gala memory, a gloved hand topping up Ibrahim's four. Her voice cracked in determination. "I swear, I will not rest until justice is done." Linked footage revealed a Lagos Lagoon shipping container used as a covert lab. Under cover of darkness, Aisha, Chinedu, and Funk infiltrated the ramshackle compound. Crates stamped with government seals lined the walls. Chinedu accessed a terminal to download encrypted files. Funk examined chemical residue, a rare organophosphate. "This matches exactly what poisoned Ibrahim," she whispered. Suddenly, headlights swept across the lot. Aisha hushed her team. They hid behind stacked pallets as a convoy of unmarked trucks rolled in. Soldiers in civilian clothes unloaded cooler boxes. Aisha filmed it with her phone. The convoy departed, leaving a single crate behind. Inside, a blueprint detailed Operation Final Pulse coordinates, pointing to the presidential guesthouse. "We have to move fast," Funk urged. At the hospital the next morning, Ibrahim's condition deteriorated. His vitals plummeted. Hassan refused to release kitchen CCTV. Aisha hacked into the palace network from her home office, sweat beading her brow. Files flooded her screen, staff rosters, delivery schedules, and a security badge photo of Major Adewale. When her children found her sobbing over the data, she forced a smile. "Everything will be okay. Mummy is working for Daddy." Alone afterward, she whispered, "They're among us." Armed with coordinates, Aisha and Chinedu staked out the guesthouse. At dawn, masked operatives carried crates labeled medical supplies. Aisha sent an urgent text to Hassan, no answer. She slipped past a perimeter fence, filming every move. An alarm shattered the dawn quiet. In a scramble, Aisha ran, only to collide with a guard who recognized her from news footage. He gripped her arm. "You can't be here." Panic flared. Before he could restrain her, Dr. Obafemi emerged bruised, whispering, "They tried to kill me too." He handed her a vial, an unstable antidote synthesized from stolen patient samples. "It buys hours, not days," he warned. Guard reinforcements arrived. Aisha's knees buckled. A sniper's scope caught the sunrise on the guesthouse roof. Obafemi dragged her through a hidden tunnel as bullets pinged metal above. They emerged into a deserted alley. Aisha held the vial, breath ragged. "We're not safe," she gasped. "But we can save him." In that moment, her resolve shattered and reforged, her sanity hanging by a thread as the killer's gaze followed her every move. Aisha sat on the edge of her youngest son's bed, smoothing his tangled hair as dawn light filtered through gauzy curtains. Her phone buzzed with incoming news alerts and whispered threats, "Step back or they take the children." She pressed a finger to her lips as he drifted off, promise glowing on her lips, "Mummy will fix everything." In the living room, Zainab handed her a steaming mug of tea. "You haven't eaten." Aisha's hand trembled around the cup. "I can't stop. Not when he's still fighting." Later, in a dim-rented lab, Dr. Obafemi gingerly held a vial. "The antidote's ready, but it stabilizes only for minutes. We need proper trials." Aisha's eyes filled with fierce gratitude. I'll find time. She posted a video to her followers, voice cracking, "Please stand with us. Donate, share, help save my husband." The clip reached millions within hours. That night, Hassan summoned her. Guards flanked the hallway as she entered his stark office. "We have evidence of a syndicate using diplomatic channels," he reported. "But any public move risks international scandal." Aisha's jaw clenched. "He's my husband. I'll take that risk." She turned to leave, pausing with quiet steel. "Tomorrow I confront the syndicate myself." As she stepped outside, the streetlights flickered, and a shadow detached itself from a parked car. A low voice hissed, "Your children are next." Aisha mounted a borrowed motorbike, rain-slicked streets reflecting neon signs. Chinedu tailgaped in his car, siren off. "Traffic's a nightmare," he yelled through the open window. "We don't have hours." Wind whipped her scarf as she weaved through stalled SUVs. Memories flared, medical school days with Ibrahim, their shared laugh echoing in a dusty lecture hall. Pain and purpose propelled her forward. At LifeSpring, doctors hovered over Ibrahim's bed. Aisha burst into the ward, clutching the fragile antidote. "Please administer it now," she implored. Hassan appeared, face ashen. It could kill him. A moment's hesitation, the torment of choice. Finally, a nurse took the vial. Heart pounding, Aisha watched monitors blink. Seconds stretched into eternity. Then a stable line. She sank to her knees, tears of relief slipping free. Hassan approached, voice subdued, "You saved him. But they've escaped." Embassy staff vanished at dawn. She rose, anger coiling in her chest. "Then I go after them myself." In a dim conference room lined with satellite maps, Aisha convened Chinedu and Funk. Bullet-pointed reports detailed foreign embassy complicity and shell companies. Funk's fingers flew. "We can file an injunction to lift immunity, if we get a judge's order." Aisha slammed her fist on the table. "Do it." Late that night, unmarked vehicles lined her street. She watched from the window as black-tinted windows idled. Guard dogs snarled at tread steps. Inside, her children slept. A call from an unknown number, distorted voice, "You push, you die." She stared at the blank screen, swallowed bile and whispered, "I will not be silenced." Clara, the nurse who tended Ibrahim, slipped through shadows to meet Aisha at an empty petrol station. "He told me to replace the 4, then walked away," she confessed, voice quivering. "I was too scared." Aisha took Clara's hands. "You can change this." They recorded her testimony on Chinedu's phone. Each word a hammer blow against the conspiracy. "Promise me protection," Clara whispered. Back home, as Clara left, headlights poured into the driveway. Aisha lunged to shield Clara. Too late. Flames erupted from a parked car across the street. Clara's frantic scream cut through smoky haze. With Clara's footage decrypted, names and faces emerged. Major Adewale, Ibrahim's trusted friend, turned traitor, appeared handing a poison 4 bag to a kitchen aide. Aisha uploaded the clip, and viewers around the world gasped. In the Senate chamber, Hassan demanded an arrest. Cameras panned to the empty seat of Adewale, now a fugitive headline. Aisha appeared on international news, her voice steady, "No shield of diplomacy can hide this crime." At home, she placed a trembling kiss on Ibrahim's forehead. "Soon you'll wake to peace." But when Hassan called, his voice broke. Adewale's body found in a burned car. Officially ruled suicide. Aisha's reflection in the window showed hollow eyes and a clenched fist. "They stop at nothing," she whispered. "Neither will I." Dawn broke over Abuja with chants echoing through the streets. Under heavy guard, Aisha stepped onto the balcony of the National Assembly, facing a sea of protesters waving placards, "Justice for Bello, no immunity for murder." Every camera in Nigeria swiveled toward her. "Fellow Nigerians," her voice rang clear, amplified by thousands of speakers. "Today we stand at the crossroads of justice and impunity." She held up a document, leaked financial records tying the family lawyer to offshore accounts. Gasps rippled through the crowd. From Kano to Port Harcourt, cell phones broadcast the moment live. Inside the Senate chamber, Hassan watched monitors with clenched jaws. Opposition senators scowled, torn between party loyalty and public fury. One banged his gavel. "Order." But the roar of support for Aisha drowned him out. Across the nation, street protests swelled, university campuses organized teach-ins on constitutional reform, civil society groups demanded investigations. The UN envoy commended Aisha's bravery. International news headlines blared, "Senator's wife sparks revolution." Backstage, Aisha's knees trembled. Funk handed her water. You've done more in one speech than most politicians achieve in a lifetime. Aisha offered a weary smile. He's alive because I refuse to be silent. That evening, a handwritten note slid under her door. You've rallied a nation. But they're still watching you. It bore no signature. Aisha's heart pounded. She replayed images of the crowd's fervor, her children cheering on TV. Her phone buzzed, an encrypted message from Clara, pleading again for asylum. Obafemi's lab results flashed, toxin traces discovered in military hospital reports. Aisha realized the web of corruption was deeper than ever. As the Capitol lights glittered, Aisha whispered into the night air, "They may own the system, but we own the truth." Weeks later, Aisha boarded a chartered flight to Niamey, Niger, under a pseudonym. In disguise, she rode dusty roads to meet Oxfam contacts who had obtained smuggled dahlia toxin samples from a desert black market. A video camera captured her every move, polished social media reels that racked up millions of views. Chinedu transmitted live behind her, narrating, "From Nigeria to Niger, our fight crosses borders. This is the path to justice." Back home, Twitter hashtags exploded, #Aisha Cross Africa. At a remote compound framed by ochre dunes, an Oxfam worker handed her a sealed crate. "Handle with care," he cautioned. Inside, vials of the toxin slumbered like deadly gems. Aisha's hands shook. That night, she sent a heartfelt vlog. "I carry the pain of my people, of my husband. This journey reminds me that our struggle unites us beyond borders." Tears glistened in her eyes, comments flooded with support. Meanwhile, Hassan faced political fallout. Nearly half the cabinet called for a vote of no confidence over his handling of the crisis. He pleaded with Aisha to return. She glanced at an old photograph, her and Ibrahim laughing amid palm trees. Under star-studded skies, Aisha pressed her palm to the crate. "We will end this." The desert wind carried her vow across the dunes. Back in Abuja, threats escalated. Chinedu's office was raided at dawn, his laptop and crucial footage seized. Funk's law license was suspended for impropriety. Zainab's phone went silent. Aisha gathered her team in a hidden safe house. Obafemi's face appeared on a cracked screen. "They offered me freedom, if I stop." His eyes pleaded. Clara's message followed, "I'm under surveillance." Aisha's voice cracked with betrayal, "You're my family." Obafemi lowered his gaze. "I wanted to protect my research. I was scared." Clara called in, trembling, "They know where I live." Aisha rose, fists clenched. "Fear is their weapon. We must not yield." She posted a raw live stream, tears streaking her face. She vowed, "Even if my own blood falters, I will carry this fight." Comments surged, an army of virtual allies rising behind her. Aisha accepted her first sit-down interview on national television. Under bright studio lights, she laid out every piece of evidence. The tour of the Ogun lab, the lion's share of leaked cables, Clara's testimony. Viewership soared past 20 million. "The president's advisor is complicit," she declared. A hush fell. Later, debate raged on news channels and social media. Late that evening, Hassan uncovered damning documents. The family lawyer had orchestrated the poisoning to engineer a power vacuum. Aisha stared at the files, stunned. The betrayal had cut deeper than any thorn. That night, she delivered a private speech to Ibrahim via video link, voice trembling. "Your battle has become mine. I won't quit." He replied weakly, "I believe in you always." Sleep deserted Aisha. Hallways blurred as she paced the corridors of her home, haunted by phantoms. Hassan's stern warning, Clara's terrified scream, her children's fearful faces. In a midnight live stream, her eyes glassed over, she whispered conspiracies, tears slipping down her cheeks. Viewers sent messages of concern, "Rest, please." But she refused. Medical staff arrived at dawn. Dr. Obafemi placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You need help." Before she could protest, a nurse administered a sedative. Aisha's vision swam as she slumped into unconsciousness. Behind closed doors, ambassadors and chiefs met, fear that their worst nightmare unleashed madness on the nation's conscience. As she drifted, a single thought echoed, "They tried to break me, but they only made me stronger." Aisha awoke to the sterile white of a hospital room, sedation's haze still softening her mind. Hassan hovered over her, exhaustion etched in his eyes. President declared a state of emergency, press freedoms curtailed. His voice trembled. "They say it's for national stability." She swung her legs off the bed. "My children?" He exhaled. Safe with Zainab. Aisha nodded, resolve sharpening. She announced a temporary retreat from the public eye to focus on Ibrahim's recovery. At home, she handed her personal security team to protest leaders under siege. Protect them, she instructed. My fight continues through you. That evening she and Ibrahim, still frail, shared a quiet dinner. He reached for her hand. I'm so proud of you. Tears welled as she whispered, I had no choice. Their reunion, tender and raw, was a balm to her battered spirit. Night fell. Hassan returned, face grave. They've arrested Clara on false charges. They want you to surrender. Aisha's heart clenched. Then I'll go to them on my terms. Determined, Aisha boarded a diplomatic flight to The Hague, Hassan at her side. Obafemi rejoined them with documents proving the lawyer's embezzlement and complicity. Funk's legal brief, thick with evidence, lay in Aisha's carry-on. In the courtroom gallery, Aisha watched Clara testify via video link, her voice steady despite the risks. Charges against the diplomat and biotech firm CEOs echoed through the chamber. A collective breath seemed to rise from the audience. Outside, Nigerians gathered at embassies worldwide in solidarity. Social media lit up, #promise kept. Aisha allowed herself a moment of hope. That night, Hassan's urgent text, Clara's safe for now, but they've seized Obafemi's lab. You're running out of allies. Aisha stared at the message, mouth set. Then I make more. The trial opened with dramatic flair, judges in robes, prosecutors in crisp suits. Aisha sat in the first row, Ibrahim by video link, his once strong frame now fragile but fiercely supportive. Clara's testimony on the gala night 4 swap left the courtroom gasping. Obafemi's expert breakdown of the organophosphate synthesis sealed the narrative. Mid-trial, the defense counsel demanded closed sessions for national security. Aisha rose, voice echoing, the world is watching, justice cannot be private. Cameras caught her defiance. The judge denied the motion and live feeds continued. As the day ended, Aisha stepped outside, overcome but unbowed. Supporters applauded. Journalists clamored for her reaction. This is just the beginning, she told them, voice steady. Jury deliberation felt endless. Back in Nigeria, citizens held candlelight vigils. In the courtroom, Aisha stood as the verdict was read. Diplomat stripped of immunity, family lawyer convicted, biotech CEO indicted for crimes against humanity. The gavel's bang resounded like thunder. Aisha collapsed to her knees, tears streaming. Cameras captured her embrace of Hassan. Ibrahim's video image flickered to life, his voice choked. You did it. You saved us all. The moment rippled across every news network. That night, fireworks erupted over The Hague, a symbolic salute to justice. Aisha looked skyward, a mixture of relief and sorrow in her eyes. Returning to Abuja, Aisha and Ibrahim stood before the National Assembly balcony. Below, a united crowd cheered beneath a clear sky. She addressed them, voice ringing, let this moment mark our commitment to transparency, accountability, and compassion. Today we rebuild our nation together. She announced the inauguration of a children's hospital wing dedicated to survivors of political violence. Her speech, streamed globally, brought tears and hope. As fireworks lit the night, she turned to Ibrahim. He smiled, healthy at last. Their children waved from the balcony edge. In that final shot, a sea of faces, young, old, hopeful, gazed up in gratitude. Aisha's descent into madness had become a catalyst for change. The outcome had truly shaken the whole country. Liked it? Thumbs up, subscribe and join the AfriHeart fam. Your support fuels our stories. Until next time.